Duffy on me, I'm feeling good. The streets talking to me in the hood. I'm doing this exactly how I should. What's not said is understood. Listen to me, I'm on my grind. No matter what, these haters mad. I gotta ask, why you mad at us? Cause I'm on the rise. Yeah, I'm on the rise. The party won't even.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Always Climbing podcast. It's your boy Jovan with your co-host Bryce Harris. Kamar, if you ain't see the last episode, check it out. Get to know my man. And then we got our guy, police officer, member of the National Guard, Ryan Hall, another family member of the Always Climbing group. So today, I wanted to discuss the shot heard around the world, this Will Smith and Chris Rock incident, right? When I first seen that, I was like, yo, I thought it was fake, right? And then I'm like, wait, there's no way this man's gonna get an award. There's no way he's gonna get an award. The Academy's not gonna let that happen. And then he wins Best Actor, which to me is crazy to think about rewarding someone after just doing assaulting someone, right? And immediately I thought there got to be something following up to it. And I feel like every action has a reaction. So what was your guys' thoughts about the situation as far as him winning an Oscar after attacking Chris Rock and immediately after, and maybe even touch on his speech a little bit?
I can go for sure. I'll say this, man. First and foremost, like you said, when I watched it the first time, I can't lie to you, my jaw legit dropped. Like I was in bed actually. I was watching it in the living room, and you know we turned it off and we're about to go to bed, get ready for work. And I seen it on Twitter. I said, "Hey, yo, Nell." That was my reaction. Like literally, I was like, "Whoa!" And before I knew it, man, you know. We going through all of this. I'm learning more and more about what happened. Now I see the full clip and I see exactly why it happened. So this won't be the average podcast because a lot of us, we have different opinions, right? And you know, we're not here to judge anybody's opinions. And anybody listening or viewing, appreciate you, but we're not here, you know, to judge y'all opinions, and we're not here to get judged. We just here to be transparent, right? Yeah. So I'll say this in my thoughts. I think in any other situation, Will would have been more justified than for what he did. But the fact that it was on a stage like the Academy Awards, right? Like the Oscars, you gotta have some type of self-control. That's just my opinion. Especially when you are going at somebody that's working, right? Like, Will, you're a guest. That man is working, right? So whether he was right or wrong, that man is on the job. He's on the clock right now, getting paid to do his job. And you walk up to this man and smack him. To me, that's like you're at, you know, a grocery store and your cashier gets smart with you or says something disrespectful. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to smack that cashier. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the manager and you're going to say, that person just said something so rude. You need to handle that. Will should have, in my opinion, obviously it all was like probably that fast in Will's head. And he probably just saw red and blanked out. But looking back, I'm sure he probably regrets it. And I would also say that I guarantee if he looked back, he would probably be like, man, I should have talked to Chris afterwards, or I should have talked to the Oscars, to the Academy Awards and said, okay, don't ever have this dude host ever again because that was rude. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Jovan, like you said, you know, the fact that he got the award right after makes it even worse. But in my opinion, I don't think he should be stripped from the thing that he earned. That's just my opinion. I don't think he should be stripped at all. I think he earned it. You know, he had a great performance. He deserved to be the best actor. What he did before has nothing to do with it. Right. So I'll go back to, you know, the rest of my opinion after I hear what you guys got to say.
All right. I agree with you, Bryce. Like, as a married man, I get the energy that Will had, I think the means by which he decided to act on his emotions was out of pocket, to say the least. Normal people go to jail for stuff like that. Truly, honestly. So this is one of those where, I mean, it all worked itself out, it seems. But I mean, he's a comedian. Comedians talk trash and offend people. If you don't talk trash and offend people, you're not a good comedian.
Right.
That's low-key facts. That's a good perspective.
Yeah.
Like there is no like, I don't care, like, regardless of whether it's Larry the Cable Guy or Kevin Hart or anybody, for real. Like, if you're not offending somebody, you're not really a comedian. Yeah. So somebody had to be the butt of those jokes. You know, and I think part of it is that, you know, Will and Jada, they, you know, especially like with Jada having like Red Table Talk and all that, she already puts all her business out there. So you're mad somebody mentioned something you talk about every day. Like, that's, I don't see the, y'all know me forever. I'm not really like super crazy, irrational, emotional. So like, I don't really get it. Like, I understand where he's coming from, but the idea that I'm going to leave my seat, because that was a long walk. Like, it wasn't like he was right next to him. Like he had some intent. Like, there was like,
he thought about it.
That was that was, in my opinion, that was a tad bit beyond, like, I'm standing right next to you, you say something reckless, I steal on you because you disrespected my wife or something. But like, you walked like 100 feet from your seat up some stairs, across the stage.
First and foremost, based off what you just said, I'll tell you, I agree. And Chris Rock, we can all agree he was wrong for the joke, right? But like you said, comedians are going to be comedians. My sympathy, I don't really have much sympathy for Chris Rock, to be honest. But my little bit of sympathy for Chris Rock falls into the fact that this man really had no idea that was coming.
None, bro.
At first, I will admit it was a little bit funny to me, but now I really do. I truly, genuinely feel for him, because when you really look at that picture, right? I got it. I'll bring it up on this. But when you really sit there and dissect that picture, please, y'all, try not to laugh, because it's
I know exactly what you're talking about, bro.
My man's did not see it coming. You know what I mean? Like, he is smiling.
He didn't, bro.
He's smiling. Yeah. And that's where my sympathy comes, because he literally was like, who expect Will to do that? Even if I said something disrespectful to you, who would expect Will? When I watched it the first time, I expected Will to go on that mic and say, listen here, Chris. Hey, yo, Chris. Hey, yo, Chris.
Hey, yo.
Your mama. And maybe smack the back of his head and go sit back down as a joke. That's the last thing I expected Will Smith to do. So Chris is like, oh, boy, everybody come mess with me. Boom! I don't know, man.
It's like, who was the two comedians, like Lavelle something?
Lavelle Crawford and
yeah.
Oh, I can't think of who he talk. I know who you talking about, but I can't.
And dude that played Mr. Brown, like,
I don't know. What happened?
It's a clip. It's like a viral clip. I see it like all the time, bro. Lavelle Crawford like was at some comedian awards show. He was up there just talking, and then like Mr. Brown came up there on the mic, and they were just roasting each other back and forth, bro. Like, funny as a mug. But like, they did that in a funny way. Like, I'm pretty sure Chris Rock probably was at that show if it was for comedians. And he probably just assumed, like you said, Will was finna come up, they was finna joke with each other here and there, go sit back down. I don't know. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, Jada Smith, she cut her hair. Was it through health reasons? Was it through like making a statement? Like,
she has alopecia, so like her hair, it just falls out. So like, I don't know if you saw, like, when her hair starts to grow back in after she shaves it, it's like a little, like, it almost looks like a line, like right here. But that's because like she has literally places in her head where the hair just don't grow at all.
Okay, yeah, it'll be real patchy. I
thought it was because, personally, I thought it because she ain't like her hair, but now that I know it's because of alopecia, I think that's where the joke was a little harsh. But at the end of the day, like, he is a comedian. I went to a show. His name's Tony Woods. Literally before the show started, he said, "If you're gonna be offended, this is not the place for you." it's a comedian that's hosting the Oscars. Like, you should expect jokes to be made. And then the one part about the clip that I think should be recognized is the fact that after he said the joke, Will was dead, just like everybody else in the crowd. But I feel like Will felt obligated to say something because Jada looked hurt.
Right.
And I don't know if y'all
Yeah.
peeped that, but like, she didn't laugh, like she ain't clap. She just kind of was sitting there real stale. And Will kind of looked at her, and he probably felt like he was obligated, like, yo, I got to defend my wife here. And I think the only thing that I'm gonna do to make a statement, like I really defend this woman, is by running up to this dude. And honestly, I think that he should have just ran up to him, and if he really knew that he, like, taking his power, he should have just said something like, "Hey, listen, ain't gonna talk about my wife like that. Let's keep the show going." Everybody would have heard him.
I'm not gonna lie,
Right.
Kamar. I'm just thinking about you, right? And you know, the viewers and the listeners don't really know you. And don't take this the wrong way, because I know you a Christian man, and you really are, like, you my dude. But I can see you doing the same thing Will did.
I 100%
Yo.
Will did.
Like,
And
I don't know
that
why.
don't mean I'm saying it's right. That don't
We do
mean I'm
not
saying it's
condone
right.
violence. We do not
But it
condone
is-
violence.
At
It
all.
is just, we don't condone violence. I know right from wrong, but my character and just like how I've been a little bit, tailored growing up,
That boy be
I would have
hot.
walked up to him. I probably would have actually punched him instead of slapped him. But that don't make it right. I think he was wrong in all cases. But I feel like, I think that's a funny thing about this is like, or at least a good topic to even talk about, is like feeling that obligation to defend your wife or your girlfriend.
Right.
I mean, two of y'all, shoot, Joe. I mean, all three of y'all is like, dang, like what would y'all do in that situation? Because
Well, we can even, like, as we get into that, let's talk a little bit about his speech.
Right.
Did y'all
Like,
hear
how
his
do you-
speech?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's something I want to talk about a little bit too.
Mm-mm.
His
Something
speech.
in
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I was about to say something in particular I wanted to ask you, Bryce, because you're in counseling, is the fact that he brought love into something that caused him to do something violent. You know what I'm saying? Can you hit on that a little bit?
I can definitely hit on that a little bit, because to me, at least, I think love is best displayed through action than just words. Sometimes love is expressed in a bad way. Sometimes love is expressed in a extreme way, right? And other times love is expressed just through, small gestures. What we saw last night, I think, was love. I really do. I think it was love from Will. But I think it was just one of those extreme incidents of love that obviously wasn't necessary, right? Like, he didn't have to do that. But the part that really got me thinking, from not my counseling background, but my psychology background, is because I have a undergrad in psychology. I really have been thinking heavy on his speech, and he almost leaned into the fact that King Richard probably would have done the same if Chris Rock spoke about his daughter, right?
That's the reach, though.
Let's look back. Let us look back at the effect that the Joker had on what was his name? Heath Ledger, right?
Heath Ledger, yeah.
Let us look back at the effect that how these actors get affected by the roles that they play. That man was Actor of the Year for a reason. And I'm not justifying him at all, because, again, I don't think he was right, but he bought into King Richard. He bought into the idea of, I protect what's mine. I don't know if y'all saw that movie, but he did a great job.
Yeah.
And
Excellent job.
yeah,
I was talking to somebody that hasn't seen it today. I was explaining to them what the movie was about. Like, he's at a tennis court. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna probably be doing this for another 5 hours. Sorry, I can't watch your daughter. He's like, that's cool. We gonna sit down. We'll watch you for 5 hours, and then on the 6th hour, you can watch us. And they're just like, oh my God, right? Will probably has adopted that type of mentality. That's just my thoughts. Just after how I've seen acting has affected other actors and how their roles kind of get meshed in. Yeah. Will's probably on 10, and especially how emotional he was, and emotions that he had for winning his first award. Mm-hmm. I mean, just imagine the things that he's feeling, and then not to mention the other side of it. Everybody knows Will gets ridiculed all day. about his wife,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So you got that over here, and then you got maybe the possible influence of his acting playing as King Richard. Those two collide. You mess with mines. Guess what I got up? I got 2 fists. It's time to get it on, right? And like I said, I don't think it's right, but I do think, in my opinion, you know, I wouldn't make it a definite thing, but my opinion, I definitely think it has something to do with his acting role as King Richard. I think that's a part of it. I really do.
Yeah, there's a lot of actors that talk about that in general. I mean, I feel like it's probably humiliating, like for him too. Like it's such an ongoing joke, like talking about Jada, talking about Will. Like I feel like personally, he probably was just exhausted of people making jokes, and then that being a joke too, because she probably didn't concern or voice was concerned about her alopecia day in and day out. He probably was just fed up, like, bro, I'm tired of the jokes on his family. You know what I mean? So he probably felt attacked, which in turn, I can speak on myself is like, if I feel attacked, then unfortunately, I have had the poor decision making to attack back
Right.
personally. So, like, I don't know. I think that, like, who else said that? Like, Denzel said that they let their roles affect them.
Yeah,
everyday life.
a lot of
definitely
actors,
did, yeah.
man. A lot of actors.
Like, it's like the best actors are the ones that
It's a lifestyle switch.
dive into. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I think what you said is very, very accurate. In my opinion, you know, I definitely agree. And then, like I said, man, I really am curious about the idea of the balance of like, this was me being King Richard and also me getting ridiculed as, you know, a bad husband or this and that. How much
Right.
that fully affected him. Because I'll tell you right now, in my marriage and my relationship before I was even married, you know, like some people would, you know, make slight comments about my wife or my girl at the time. And I'll be honest, like even some of my close friends, like I had to distance myself because you'll do some crazy things like that for love, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna just sit here and talk about my girl. Now, did I ever punch somebody over it? No, but I'm just gonna distance myself. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not gonna hear that. I'm gonna defend her at 9 times out of 10, if not 99 times out of 100. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna always defend her. Because at the end of the day, you know, that's mine. Like, she's dependent on me to be her protector. So I understand where Will's coming from that perspective. I just don't know if it was necessary at such a big stage. Now, if we was in the back, just messing around, Chris Rock's a little drunk, and he say something like that, and everybody laughing, I'm smacking fire out of him, right? But we are at this.
Yo, come on, bro.
Hey,
Man,
Javon said it.
not being
Javon
honest.
said it best. We don't condone violence, right?
We
But
don't.
I'm just being honest.
Transparency.
The little
you-
teed off the.
If you say something like that about my wife, in that moment, like
No doubt.
we in a club scene, like you just talking like out the side of your mouth, like you saying something like that, you got to get dealt with one way or another.
Yeah.
But I think it's different when it's on a stage like that, man. That man was at work. Bro. Chris Rock was at work, guys.
Right.
I don't know.
Will Smith
I
better, bro.
He does, and I feel like it was at the end. It was also the Oscars. Like,
Bro, the Oscars,
it was the Oscars, and when you're Will Smith and you're Jada, and you put yourself in a vulnerable situation, not vulnerable, but you know, allow yourself to be vulnerable to the public in the way that they have gone through a healing process in their relationship in the public, and like you said, Chris Rock is a comedian. He's meant to rub people the wrong way. For me, I also felt humiliated as black men and women for us to be in that situation and do it on that stage. Not to say that any stage is acceptable, but for that to be now that's probably one of the biggest situations to ever happen on television. That's something that's going to be talked about for years. Like
there was Kanye stepping in for Taylor Swift. Now there's this, like that.
Exactly. That's immediately what I thought about. Like, I'm like, yo, he might have took it. He took it.
He did take it.
He took it.
100%.
He snatched it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. And
And that's not a
Man,
good look
I
for
just-
us, man. That's not a good
that's
look
not.
for the black community.
it sends a terrible message. It sends a terrible message. Like that's not okay. And then for him to get an award, I don't like. We say we don't condone violence. Like that's for me when he got the award, it was almost like they condoned it. Like they was like, man. But I understand it was pre-selected, and they knew he probably already knew that he was going to get the award. But for me, it felt like they were rewarding him still on top of doing something so wrong.
So, Joe, I want to keep this as respectful as possible in this little mini debate that we better have. But
Yeah.
if you think, from what I'm hearing, is you don't think he should have received that award, right?
Yeah, I think he still should have been acknowledged for it. Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't be bothered if the award was taken from him.
So here's my thing on that. Bottom line, in my opinion, he was the best actor.
Yeah,
He earned it. He earned it, so he should have it. And the reason I say that is, if LeBron got all-time scoring, he got all-time scoring. I don't care if LeBron cheated on his wife tomorrow. I don't care if LeBron God, I don't even want to take it this far, but what if LeBron was to murder somebody, right? God forbid, right? He still is the all-time scorer at the end of the day. Like, you can't take that away. So I look at it like that, and I'm just like, man, at the end of the day, Will killed it. You know what I mean? He deserves the award. Do we have to celebrate it? No. But I think he does deserve the award, and I hope they don't take it away from him, and I hope they don't keep him out of the academy because of this. Because at the end of the day, he earned it. It's just
he did.
Maybe he shouldn't get invited ever again. Maybe we can do something like that. But I'm saying maybe they could do something like that. But he deserved everything that he earned last night. Like that, I don't think that should be taken anywhere, or anywhere from him. But that's just my opinion.
And his work definitely is warranted for it. Like he earned it. That movie was stellar. He did an incredible job. But then you go into other situations that are more objective. Like you talk about Hall of Fames for different sports and things like that. Situations come up, they're not getting to the Hall of Fame.
Barry Bonds.
Even though they got the resume for it.
Barry
Bonds. There's other people that I can't, off the top of my head, but there were other people, of course, in that PED incident too. But he had Hall of Fame numbers before he even took steroids.
Yeah. Yep.
You got Reggie Bush, who got his award taken away.
That's a good point.
Like those are certain things that I think about, and I always reflect back to, of course, athletics, because that's what I'm embedded in. But I'm just like, man, you just can't get away with something like that. You know what I mean? Like he could have got charged for that.
Oh yeah,
could have.
Oh yeah,
could have got charged for that.
I mean, Ryan just said it. Like people go to jail like that.
Yeah, people go to jail
like that all the time.
So,
man.
Like for less even, like
right.
Simply attempting to do so in a lot of states that's enough to the jail you go, boss.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Obviously there's a lot of moving parts in that regard. It could be Chris Rock say, yo, I'm not interested in going forward with charges. I'm not interested in participating in the investigation. It could be a lot of different things. So it's not, I don't know. I'm not there. But I'm for sure 100% like, if I'm at work, that's the phone call. That's the dispatch call we get. We pull up and somebody has that video. If that person says, "Yo, I want them arrested," then goodbye. That would be very cut and dry. It's on camera. It's no he said, she said. No trying to figure out who's telling the truth. It's on video.
Right.
So I guess even in that regard, like he lucked out.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he lucked out.
Oh, go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? He lucked out, and it's a very rare occurrence that when something gets physical like that somebody takes the high road and like, nope, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you slide. You slid me, but now I'm gonna let you slide. That's not always how that plays out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that's and I agree with you. And like all these different things we done talked about today, I done thought of so many different references. Like the first thing you said is, like how I felt as a black man watching that when this ginormous, humongous stage, you got a black dude, another black dude, and just essentially a random act of violence over not being able to hold your own emotions in check.
Yeah.
And I had like a flashback to Stink Meaner in the Boondocks, bro. Like, literally, that's what went into my head. Like, it's not embarrassing just for you. That's embarrassing for me and you and you and you and all of us watching. Like, come on, how? Like, that's just.
I feel that.
Like, I get the feeling. Listen, I understand the feeling 100%, but part of it's not a real word. We use it all the time, but part of adulting is being able to manage your own emotions.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, you're mad about people saying these things about you, but Chris Rock didn't say nothing that Jada or Will hasn't already said themselves.
Probably not, yeah.
The delivery was maybe not the best. It's poor in that regard. Kind of like Bryce was saying, everybody don't know me. I say a lot of things. I be right. My delivery ain't the best.
Right.
The delivery could be awful, but he didn't say anything that they haven't already said in an interview or on the Red Table Talk or anything like that, or that she hasn't posted on Instagram or Twitter. So if you're mad that he's talking about it, stop putting it out there for people to talk about.
I swear.
You're putting it on a platform designed for people to see it, to discuss it, to voice their opinions, outrage, etc. And then when they do so, you don't like it. Stop putting it out there. Like me, if something that me and my wife argue about, have an issue with, I'm gonna be upset about it. I don't put that out there in the public for the world to know. So if somebody knows, I have a bigger problem because that means somebody I trusted folded on me. Yeah, but like you put it out there. It's like I'm wearing a red hoodie, and then now I'm gonna go smack Jovan because he said, "Oh, ooh, look at him with his cherry hoodie on." Like,
why you gotta make your mind though, man?
Hey, man,
That's not even what I meant. I'm sorry. My fault. It's not how that was supposed to come out. But you get what I'm saying. Like,
it's cool, man. No, we get the point.
You're gonna make it public. You don't get to be mad that it's public now. Like, you made it public. You took your privacy settings and said off.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
nah, man. That's a good point. That's a really good point, man.
Great point, bro.
We could close here, man, because we pretty much hit the whole thing. So I like doing takeaways. Everybody, just give me one takeaway. From the whole thing. Like, what's a learning lesson that we can get from what we witnessed, good or bad?
Ooh, I got one real quick. Just because this acknowledges Chris Rock, bro. When somebody comes at you, offends you, does something that is against you entirely, you don't have to retaliate. Chris Rock handled that situation so appropriately, bro. He just took it, realized what happened, and said, I'm going to settle this and end this right here. Like, there's no reason to escalate this any further. I mean, they might have had a conversation afterwards, but in that moment, he was behaved, he did his job, and he realized, like, it's something way bigger than just this alone. So that's my takeaway on Chris Rock rather than Will Smith.
Anybody else?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely talking about Chris Rock a little bit more. The self-control to just not retaliate, like Kamar said, and just being mindful. I want all the young people to be mindful of their actions and think long-term of how anything you do, even if it's minuscule, how it's going to affect something in the long run.
You got anything, Ryan?
Yeah, for sure. People's perception is their reality. Just like they said, Chris Rock not retaliating, not escalating the situation any further. Even if you think about like our whole podcast today, it's literally all been about Will and what Will did. We've barely touched on the fact that, yes, Chris Rock told a disrespectful joke about his wife, but ultimately he controlled that narrative by controlling his own actions. Because the discussion has not been about Chris Rock and Will or what Chris Rock said. It has simply been Will Smith putting his hand on Chris Rock. And then in regards to Will Smith, check yourself before you wreck yourself, man. Because in a different scenario with a different person, we're talking anything from serious injury, jail time, like all types of craziness, man. Like you never know what's going through Will, like, I'm mad. You don't know it. Chris could be on the edge, and the next thing you know, you in a coma because you done put your hands on somebody who's teetering on the edge of insanity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know who's gonna do. So I guess like I understand self-confidence, but today's world is different. It's just different. Like the idea if I'm gonna hit you, you're gonna hit me, and we have a fist fight. A lot of that's done and over with. You might get blicked out of existence over a lack of self-control.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a great point, bro.
Real.
Bryce, you got anything?
Oh, I definitely got something. You know I got something.
Of course. I know you do. I know you do.
So the number one thing that I learned or that I've thought about from this Will Smith, Chris Rock situation is being mad and anger, like the emotion of anger, that's a secondary emotion. Okay. I learned that, through psychology. There's a lot of emotions that are primary emotions. There's a lot of secondary emotions. Okay. If you want to search that, you might want to go on Google. But I can tell you this right now. Anger is a secondary emotion. And because that's a secondary emotion, something happens before your anger. Think about any time you've ever gotten mad. Anytime. If you got hit, somebody smacks you. Chris Rock was probably angry too. But what was he really feeling? Pain. The pain made him angry, right? If your girl broke up with you, first you're sad. First you're heartbroken. First you're shocked because she cheated on you or she broke up with you. Then comes the anger, right? You lost somebody in your life. A lot of us get really, really angry when we're grieving. What's the first emotion you had though? You had a lot of sadness. So my point is, before you get to that secondary emotion of anger, take deep breaths. Really think about where you are. Humble yourself, right? Relax. Mm-hmm. Find any way to have yourself just, okay, you know what? I'm going to handle it a better way. Now, I told you, Will probably could have did that, but he didn't. So you got to learn from him and move on. But next time, if I could just have a crystal ball and just see a better, clearer picture, I wish he understood that was a secondary emotion, what he did. And all he had to do was think about, why did I really just get triggered like that? Let me go ahead and address that, and I'll talk to Chris later. Yeah. That's my takeaway. Yeah, man. These are some really great takeaways. I hope people can really appreciate the words that were said in this podcast. Yeah, man. It's some good information in it. Some good takeaways. So that wraps up another episode of the Always Climbing Project. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And follow us on Instagram as well. Hey, and real quick, if you guys got any topics that you want to hear us talk about, I mean anything, like let's say you're an adult and you got a child that you want to watch us. If you got something, in the back of your head, like maybe y'all can talk on this. Like I think my son or my daughter really needs to hear a message about this. Let us know. Or if there's something that you might be dealing with personally, let's say you're a student, or let's say you're young like us and you're dealing with something. We might be able to help you. So you just drop in the comments, or you can DM us on at Always Climbing Project on Instagram and just let us know. Let us know what y'all want to hear from us, because we plan on making this a weekly thing. So this week y'all got a little special treat. It's our second one. But this is definitely gonna be a weekly thing. So just let us know. All right. As long as y'all good, I'm good. We good? I'm good. Yes, sir. All right, peace. I said, can I be for real? No, just playing. I ain't gonna do this time. That was last episode. All right, peace. Yeah. I don't even know where I'm at. All I know